Imagine opening your refrigerator right now. You might think you're keeping everything fresher, safer, and healthier. But what if I told you that some of the foods in there are quietly harming your gut, your heart, and even your brain? For seniors over 60, this isn't just a minor kitchen mistake. In fact, studies show that over 99% of people your age still refrigerate these foods, without realizing that cold storage can trigger dangerous chemical changes, strip away key nutrients, and in some cases, create the perfect environment for harmful bacteria to grow. And here's the real wake-up call. Scientists have found that these refrigeration habits may be one of the silent contributors to the rise of chronic illnesses, from digestive issues to cardiovascular problems, especially in older adults. Yet most people never connect the dots. That's why, in this video, we're diving deep into 9 foods you should never put in your fridge, all backed by peer-reviewed research. I'll explain exactly why refrigeration turns them into a hidden health risk, and what you can do instead to keep both the flavor and the health benefits intact. Before we start, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment with your location, your age, and whether you've been refrigerating any of these foods. And if you want more science-backed tips to protect your health after 60, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. All right, let's kick off our list with the very first food. And you might be surprised to learn it's something almost every kitchen has. Food number 9, potatoes. Picture this. You buy a bag of fresh, firm potatoes, toss them into your fridge, thinking you're keeping them fresh, and 2 weeks later, you've unknowingly turned them into something far less healthy. Cold temperatures trigger a process called cold-induced sweetening, where the natural starches in potatoes convert into sugars at an accelerated rate. Why does that matter? Well, when you later bake, roast, or fry those potatoes, those extra sugars react with amino acids to form acrylamide, a chemical classified as a probable carcinogen. A University of Idaho study tested 500 potato samples and found sugar levels shot up by 300% in just 2 weeks of refrigeration. That's a massive change, and not in your favor. And it's not just about health risks. Cold storage changes the potato's texture, making it gritty, and gives it an overly sweet taste that can ruin your favorite recipes. Instead, store potatoes in a cool, dark place, ideally between 45 and 50 degrees, away from onions, and in paper or other breathable bags. Stored this way, they can last up to 3 months, compared to only about 2 weeks in the fridge. So next time you're unloading groceries, resist the urge to toss potatoes into the fridge. Your taste buds and your long-term health will thank you.
Food number 8, bread.
Let me guess, you've probably been told that keeping bread in the fridge makes it last longer. It sounds logical, right? Cold slows spoilage, so it must be better. But here's the catch. While refrigeration can delay mold, it also speeds up something called starch retrogradation, a process that makes bread go stale up to 6 times faster. Think about that for a second. In one study, bread stored in the refrigerator turned stale in just 3 days, while the same bread left at room temperature stayed fresh for a full week. And it's not just the texture that suffers. The cold actually breaks down the bread's natural aromatic compounds, stripping away that warm, comforting flavor we all love. You end up with bread that's dry, tough, and bland, even if it hasn't grown a single spot of mold. So, what's the better approach? Keep your bread at room temperature, ideally in a bread box or a paper bag to protect it from excess air and moisture. If you want it to last longer than a few days, slice it first, then freeze it. That way, you can take out exactly what you need, toast it, and enjoy it as if it were fresh-baked. Next time you're tempted to shove that loaf into the fridge, remember, freshness is more than just not moldy. It's about keeping the taste, the texture, and the joy of every bite.
Food number 7, honey. Picture this. You've got a jar of rich, golden honey sitting in your pantry. Smooth, glossy, and bursting with natural sweetness. Now imagine taking that same jar and putting it in the fridge. A week later, it's cloudy, grainy, and not nearly as inviting. That's because cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize, pulling moisture out and changing its texture. But that's not the worst part. When condensation forms inside the jar, it can actually reduce honey's antimicrobial power by as much as 35%, meaning it loses part of what makes it a natural germ fighter. And in darker varieties of honey, like buckwheat or manuka, the cold can break down antioxidants, robbing you of some of its best health benefits. Over 180 natural compounds that give honey its unique flavor and healing properties are slowly degraded when exposed to long-term refrigeration. The good news? Honey is one of the few foods that can stay good for years, even decades, if you store it right. Keep it at room temperature, tightly sealed, and away from direct sunlight. If it ever crystallizes naturally over time, just place the jar in warm water to bring it back to its smooth, silky state. So next time you think the fridge will protect your honey, remember, it's one food that's far happier and healthier staying out in the open.
Food number 6.
Coffee. Picture this. You open your fridge in the morning, ready to scoop out some fresh coffee grounds for that first, comforting cup of the day. But as soon as you brew it, something feels off. The aroma isn't as rich, the taste isn't as bold. Maybe even a faint hint of last night's leftovers lingers in the background. That's not your imagination. Coffee is like a sponge for odors, and inside the fridge, it absorbs every scent around it, from onions to leftover pasta. But the damage doesn't stop there. The cold air in your fridge causes condensation inside the coffee container each time you open it. That moisture can lead to mold growth. And yes, you might never see it, but you'll taste the dull, lifeless flavor it leaves behind. In fact, research shows that coffee stored in the fridge can lose up to 60% of its aroma in just 1 week. And if you've ever wondered why refrigerated coffee tastes weak, it's because the natural oils that carry its flavor solidify in the cold, robbing you of that deep, satisfying brew. So, what's the fix? Keep your coffee in an airtight, opaque container at room temperature. Buy smaller amounts more often so it stays fresh, and if you must store it longer, skip the fridge. Instead, portion it into airtight bags and keep it in the freezer, only taking out what you'll use right away. If coffee is your morning ritual, you deserve to taste it at its best, not a stale version dulled by fridge life.
Food number 5. Garlic. Picture this. You pull out a head of garlic from your fridge, expecting those firm, aromatic cloves that add magic to your meals. But instead, you find it sprouting little green shoots, turning soft, maybe even a little moldy. This isn't just about losing flavor. It's a sign of deeper changes happening inside. When garlic is stored in the cold, damp environment of a refrigerator, it begins to sprout much faster. Those green shoots may look harmless, but they signal that the garlic's natural compounds, especially allicin, the powerful antibacterial and heart protective element, are breaking down. In fact, research shows that refrigerating garlic can cause it to lose up to 50% of its allicin in just 10 days. And if mold develops, there's an added risk. Some molds produce mycotoxins, substances that can be harmful if consumed regularly. Cold storage also ruins the texture. Instead of crisp, firm cloves, you end up with mushy pieces that are hard to chop and unpleasant to cook with. The solution? Store garlic in a cool, dry, and well-ventilated place, like in a mesh bag or open basket in your pantry. Avoid sealing it in plastic, which traps moisture. Whole bulbs can last up to 6 months this way, while a broken bulb is best used within 10 days. If you love garlic for its flavor and health benefits, keeping it out of the fridge might just make every meal and your body healthier.
Food number 4. Bananas.
Picture this. You buy a bunch of beautiful yellow bananas, place them in your fridge to keep them fresh, and a couple of days later, they've turned brown and blotchy. What's happening here is something scientists call chilling injury. Cold temperatures rupture the delicate cells inside bananas, changing both their texture and taste. Even more concerning, research shows that storing bananas in the fridge can strip away up to 80% of their vitamin C in just 5 days. That's a massive loss of one of the fruit's most important immune-boosting nutrients.
Beyond nutrition, the flavor also takes a hit. Cold breaks down the banana's natural sweetness and leaves behind a dull, sometimes mushy bite, not exactly the tropical treat you were expecting. So, what's the better way? Keep your bananas at room temperature. If you want to control ripening, try placing them in a paper bag to speed things up, or wrap the stems in plastic wrap to slow them down. And if they're getting too ripe for your liking, peel them, freeze them, and toss them into smoothies later. Your bananas will not only taste better, but they'll also give you the full benefit of their vitamins, fiber, and natural energy, exactly the way nature intended.
Food number 3. Onions. Let me guess, you probably have a bag of onions sitting in your fridge right now. It might seem harmless, but here's the truth. The refrigerator is one of the worst places you can store them. The high humidity inside your fridge creates the perfect breeding ground for mold. And not just any mold, but the kind that can produce aflatoxins, harmful toxins linked to serious health issues. On top of that, the cold temperature messes with the onion's natural chemistry. It turns their starches into sugars, which not only changes their flavor, making them oddly sweet, but can also alter how they cook. Instead of that perfect savory bite, you might end up with an off-tasting dish that's nothing like you planned. The good news? Onions thrive in a cool, dry, and well-ventilated spot, like a pantry or cupboard. Keep them in a mesh bag, avoid sealing them in plastic, and store them far away from potatoes. The gases potatoes release can make onions spoil faster. And if you've already cut an onion, that's the only time it belongs in the fridge. Just wrap it tightly and use it within 7 days. By giving your onions the right home, you're not only preserving their flavor and texture, but also protecting yourself from hidden health risks most people don't even think about. Food number 2. Tomatoes. Imagine you just brought home a bag of ripe, vibrant red tomatoes. They smell amazing, and your first instinct might be to pop them into the fridge to keep them fresh. But here's the surprising truth. The cold can actually rob those tomatoes of their flavor and nutrition. When stored below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, the chill essentially switches off certain flavor-producing genes inside the tomato. This doesn't just mute their taste, it also damages enzymes that help your body absorb lycopene, one of the most powerful antioxidants for heart and prostate health. In fact, research shows cold storage can reduce lycopene absorption by up to 65%. That's a huge loss for such a simple mistake. And if you've ever noticed refrigerated tomatoes tasting watery or having a mealy texture, that's because cold temperatures break down the fruit's natural cell structure. You're left with something that looks like a tomato but doesn't deliver the sweet, juicy bite you expect. The solution is simple. Store them at room temperature, stem side down, in a spot with indirect light. Skip the plastic bags. They trap moisture and speed up spoilage. Use fully ripe tomatoes within 3 to 5 days, and if you need to store them longer, turn them into sauce and freeze it.
Food number 1. Avocados. Imagine this. You pick up a perfectly ripe avocado thinking you'll save it for later, so you pop it in the fridge. A few days pass, and when you cut it open, the texture is off, the taste is dull, and the vibrant green has faded. What happened? Cold temperatures trigger something called lipid peroxidation, a process that damages the healthy fats avocados are famous for. These are the very monounsaturated fats that help protect your heart, brain, and joints. Even worse, studies show that refrigeration can strip away up to 90% of the fruit's antioxidants in just 4 days. That's like throwing away most of its health benefits before you even get a chance to enjoy them. The texture suffers too. The creamy, buttery consistency you expect turns into something grainy and unappetizing, making that avocado toast or guacamole far less appealing. The solution? Let your avocados ripen naturally at room temperature. Once they're perfectly ripe, you can refrigerate them for only 2-3 days to slow further ripening. If you've already cut one, brush the surface with lemon juice and store it in an airtight container with a slice of onion. This helps prevent browning and flavor loss. Handled this way, Your avocados will deliver their full nutritional punch, smooth texture, and fresh flavor, exactly how nature intended.
Before we wrap up, here's the key takeaway. How you store your food isn't just about keeping it from going bad. It's about protecting the very nutrients that keep your body strong, your mind sharp, and your immune system ready for whatever life throws your way. Especially as we get older, every vitamin, every antioxidant, and every healthy fat counts. Poor storage can silently rob you of these benefits, leading to more waste and less nourishment for your body. So now I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these foods surprised you the most? Was there something you've been refrigerating all along without realizing it was losing its goodness? Share your experiences in the comments, because your story might just help someone else protect their health. And if you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more practical, science-backed tips to help you live stronger, longer, and healthier. Remember, small changes in how you treat your food can lead to big changes in how you feel every day.